It's May 1st, and that means it's the beginning of National Child Month, providing you with so many more opportunities to encourage and affirm our nation's children. Our government has a range of activities planned all month long to impact this group, but in the meantime, we'll be sharing a few incredible stories from some extraordinary children. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your Jamaica Magazine. Do stay with us.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, May 1. Mayors of 2 municipalities now under a state of public emergency have endorsed the security measure for their parishes. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared states of emergency for St. James, Hanover and Westmoreland over the next 14 days. Mayor of Montego Bay, Homer Davis, tells JIS News that this will allow the security forces more power to arrest the mounting crime problem in St. James. Meanwhile, Mayor of Savannah Lamar, Bertel Moore, says the wider community of Westmoreland appreciates the state of emergency and hopes the security forces will confiscate a lot of weapons.
We need to have some more social programs.
Okay.
In the meantime, for the young people to have something to do.
During the states of public emergency, the security forces will have the power to search, curtail operating hours of businesses, restrict access to places, and detain persons without a warrant. Members of the business community across Western Jamaica have pledged their support and cooperation with the states of public emergency announced for St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. President of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Winston Lawson, says the body welcomes the move after what he asserts was a reversal of gains made in the first state of emergency in the parish, which ended on January 31.
We are thankful that the attention is now being given and that we will have some restoration of hopefully normalcy and enjoy what we would have enjoyed last year throughout the year of 2018.
Negril's Chamber of Commerce President Richard Wallace has expressed similar hope that the increased security presence will restore law and order in that town.
At the very least, we'd want to see it push back, and because it's getting into mainstream too much. Criminals are brave and brazen. They seem not to have any respect for any law or anybody else or businesses or anything.
An interim president of the Westmoreland Chamber of Commerce, Moses Chibar, believes that the state of emergency will provide all the necessary resources to effectively combat criminal elements in that parish.
There seems to be quite a large number of incidents for the past few months or year. So the stricter measures are definitely needed, and the assistance, I think, is welcome because persons are moving around fearfully enough these days.
Police data shows that between January 1 and April 28 this year, the murder rate in Westmoreland stood at 29, while 27 persons were murdered in St. James and 18 in Hanover. In other news, government has received a $140 million loan from the World Bank to strengthen 3 key economic safeguards. These include building the country's resilience against natural disaster risks, supporting human capital development, and strengthening the social safety net for the most vulnerable. A formal agreement was reached on Tuesday following discussions involving Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, and a World Bank Group delegation led by Vice President for Latin America and the Caribbean, Axel van Trostenberg.
This initiative, in partnership with the World Bank and other development partners, is to try and develop the financial instruments that will protect us. And the protection really is to give us quick and easy access at rates that are affordable and conditions that are aligned with the disaster or unplanned for emergency.
We have had a good go at it for the last 55 years, and we hope to continue on this. But the continuation is that we keep a sharp focus how we can improve the lives of every, of the citizens in Jamaica.
Communities in and around Bogwalk St. Catherine are now benefiting from a $34 million early warning system for water-related disasters. The upgraded Rio Cobre early warning system was launched on Monday. It will use GSM technology to give real-time measurements and warnings to safeguard life and property in the event of flooding. A Water Resource Authority and Caribbean Development Bank partnership, the early warning system also involves the training of community members. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Pernell Charles Jr., says the system will assist the country in building its resilience to climate change impacts.
The upgraded Rio Cobre early warning system is a game changer. It is going to be the new standard for continued improvement on the way we respond, or the way we manage, and the way we best as possible preempt and predict natural disasters.
And finally, in Parliament Tuesday, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett tabled the long-awaited Tourism Workers' Pension Scheme Bill. The first of its kind in the world, the bill provides a comprehensive contributory pension plan for tourism workers. Minister Bartlett says the pension scheme will require mandatory contributions by workers and employees between 18 and 59 years old, with benefits becoming payable at age 65 and older.
Pension plan, Mr. Speaker, embraces everyone in the sector, whether he or she, listen, be red cap, front desk manager, craft trader, housekeeper, raftsman from the Rio Grande or from a Great River, musician, or any category of worker in the industry, including, Mr. Speaker, those who are self-employed.
For the first 2 years of the pension scheme, employers and employees will contribute 3% of gross salary, following which the contribution will increase to 5%. The tourism minister says an initial seed fund of $1 billion has been provided to benefit qualified pensioners who have met the vested period of 5 years. These pensioners, he says, will receive a minimum pension of $200,000 annually. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Protect Jamaica, plant your grass. Help us become more resilient to climate change impacts. Protect Jamaica, plant a tree. It improves the island's national biodiversity. Trees may be fruit, ornamental, or timber, but must be native or suitable to the area's natural landscape. Join the Jamaica Million Tree Campaign and help to plant 1 million trees by June 30, 2019. This is a call to action by the National Environment and Planning Agency.
We interacted with 3 young people with an amazing story to share with the world. Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani all have one thing in common. They are deaf dance students at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts. But they are also deaf dancers filled with hope, perseverance, and yes, greatness. Take a look.
There's a sort of purposeful selection of the sequence in these human movements. The symbolic significance of hands massaging the air and feet beating to the vibrations of songs. They're focused, energized, ready, and raring to go. If you think about it, they are just like you and I. Well, of course, that's if you can dance. But one thing might be different.
I've been deaf for 23 years, and I've been dancing for 10 years. I've been deaf for 21 years, and I've been dancing for 14 years. So I've been hard of hearing ever since I was born until now, and I've been dancing for 16 years.
Yes, persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani dance. And despite nature's act of removing a seemingly valuable aspect of their senses, these three are pursuing a certificate in dance at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, but not without some challenges.
Well, my experience here, at first, when the three of us just arrived, we were a bit awkward in terms of communicating, but then we were able to learn from each other, learning from the hearing students, and we were able to, we had issues as well with the rhythm, keeping up with the rhythm at all times, but then we were eventually able to catch up and we started to improve gradually. So for me, my main issue is timing. So I try to work along closely with the other students in the class and the teacher as well, and then eventually I'm able to catch up with the timing in terms of the music. So my challenge during class, it's really to ensure that my body is moving with the timing and the music.
Deaf dancers do move on the beat and in one accord with the rhythm, but the surprising element in this for most persons is just how are they able to, or even why did they choose dance?
I hear a little of the music and I can feel the vibration on the floor as well. So it's not that bad for me. So I use that method throughout.
With his sense of touch heightened through his loss of hearing, Damani can interpret the music through the vibrations he feels. Deaf dancers are visual learners, so for them, their instructors sign the moves or the counts. While other dancers are busy remembering the details of the moves, those like Damani, Kimberly, and Christoph are counting, keeping time, and watching keenly what their hearing peers are doing so they can interpret the steps.
So I chose to study dancing because dancing is my life. It's my passion ever since. So I want to learn more and more about dancing. I don't want to give up. I don't want to stop. I want to continue. Because my goal is to become a dancer in the future. So when I'm finished at Edna Manley College, I want to become a dancer and I want to perform around the world. So my goal is to become a dance teacher so that I can empower younger deaf children who really love dancing and empower them so that they can, be as good as I am. It's their turn.
But for acting dean at the School of Dance, being deaf is not the biggest obstacle for becoming a great dancer.
I don't want to describe what we have as challenges. I want to describe them as opportunities to learn. What fundamental to dance is the ability to demonstrate and for the dancer to use their eyes and observe and learn the experience in a visual way and then demonstrate what it is that they have been taught. I think one of the interesting things about the deaf students is that their other senses are heightened. And so they're able to access the information in other ways and quite differently from the hearing students. So it's very interesting to see the learning dynamics, but the end result and the objective or the learning outcome of the experience are still achieved. And we're very happy about that because ultimately we want them to succeed.
And while for the school it is the first time opening its gates to persons like Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani to study dance,
they're eager to receive the information and we're inspired by this drive to learn and to succeed. So Even though we have an interpreter, the interpreter is also learning from the experience, because we have interpreters who have never been in a school environment like this where dance is concerned, so they're also learning new language. It somehow feels as though they've brought more to us.
For many of the deaf community, the fear of fitting in lingers. But for Christoph, Kimberly, and Damani, dancing is passion-driven and determination-ruled.
Well, I hope that what we have done here at the Edna Manley College in terms of opening our doors to 3 deaf students will encourage others and inspire them to go after their dreams.
So I remember in high school, there was a quote that says, "I believe I can achieve." I go by that. So in the Bible, it talks about, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." I believe I can achieve.
Mommy?
Yes, Zoe?
Can we read this book? It will only take 10 minutes.
Sure, sit down. Every spring, Madame Angel Wing arranges.
Do you have 10 minutes? Read with your child today. Reading with your children for just 10 minutes each day helps develop their language and listening skills, stimulates their imagination, and expands their understanding of the world. So, start reading with your child today.
Children are a gift from God, and despite the challenges that some may be facing, they and others continue to live their best lives. The story of a child born with spina bifida is next.
Meet Alex Fraser. He's a 10-year-old student of Dunrobin Primary School in Kingston. He's just like most other boys his age. He loves to play football, hang out with his friends, and play computer games. The only major difference, he cannot walk like most other boys his age. Alex was born with spina bifida, a condition where a baby's neural tube fails to develop normally, causing damage to the spinal cord and bones of the spine. Alex's mother, Tamara Brown, has 3 other children, all of whom have no birth defects. But from Alex's birth, Tamara was determined that he would be given the same opportunities.
I want Alex to have a good education. No matter if anything happened to me tomorrow, I want him to have a good education. Can't complain, the children, the teachers, love him a lot.
It's fun having Alex around, even though sometimes it's like he's not even there. He's so quiet, he's so obedient, and he gets along well with his peers.
Parenting a child with disabilities like Alex's takes extra special loving care.
I have to make sure, go to school, eat, because Alex is a very sick child. Alex have high blood pressure, he has a kidney problem, they have to take antibiotic every day, they have to take mineral oil every day.
It means Tamara has to be at school with Alex for the entire school day on many occasions, as there are times when he doesn't have an assigned special needs assistant.
We're always here for Alex's mom and for Alex. She has been a strong parent though, doesn't complain a lot, but we have been there in support, maybe for lunch or any advice that she would need. So she has been a great parent. Alex's mother, she never gives up. She really wants the best for her child, and she should be commended for actually fighting to get the best in life for Alex. And we're happy he's a part of us.
I would like to work with computer when I grow up.
Antonika Gunter-Gale, Director of the Early Stimulation Program in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, works closely with parents of children like Alex, especially in the early stages.
Parents, guardians, caregivers of children with disabilities
face a number of issues. Financial, is one of them. When you take, for instance, sometimes a child with special needs go beyond the years of using diapers, they have to take soft food. So that means, the blending, the buying of certain food items, So there are a number of challenges. Medication, you think about appointments. The child needs to go to the hearing, specialist. The child needs to go to the audiology. The child needs to go to various appointments. And it does take cash, to care on the part of the parent for persons who don't understand that this is a child with special needs and the child, act up in the public, screaming, shouting, hyperactive, a child with autism, very antisocial, not getting on like his peers. These things can really cause much stress to the parents of children with disabilities.
But you might ask, how can a regular parent afford all these expenses? And are there any existing support programs for parents of children with disabilities?
There are a number of support through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, under which this program falls, the Early Stimulation Program. A mother, guardian, who really cannot find the wherewithal to care, you have support in terms of intervention. You have financial assistance in terms of a rehabilitation grant that is offered through the ministry for parents or guardians of children with special needs. You have the Jamaica Council for persons with disabilities that also offer support and financial assistance for, starting up your own business, advice, and, that sort of a thing. So there are a number of areas. We have the PAT program that assists with adaptive aids, such as hearing aids, walkers, wheelchairs, medication.
For parents who, like Tamara Brown, are unable to maintain regular jobs as a result of having to be with their disabled children at home or school, the Early Stimulation Program guides them to numerous entrepreneurship opportunities.
We have parents, for example, a simple thing as making soaps, different soaps, putting together, soaps that is tested and passed, approved through the Bureau of Standards, selling soaps. So we have mothers doing phone cards. We have parents doing their little craft at home, rearing chickens at home, doing eggs, So there are a number of areas while taking care of the child at home, the parent could do.
For more information, you may contact the Early Stimulation Program at 95 Hanover Street, Kingston. Call them at 922-5585. Children with special needs need extra special parents.
Hey there. So, did you know that plastic bags were introduced to supermarkets in 1977? The production of plastic bags are toxic to the environment as the process involves the use of petroleum, natural gas and other chemicals. 160,000 plastic bags are used globally every second and 5 trillion are produced yearly. Side by side, they can encircle the world 7 times. Plastic degrades after 700 years and will only fully degrade in 1,000. This means that all the plastic that has ever been produced has not degraded. It remains toxic even after it breaks down. 13 million metric tons of plastic end up in the ocean every year, and at least 800 species worldwide are affected by marine debris, of which 80% is plastic and is mistaken for food by turtles, fish, and other marine life. Research has shown that fish caught for human consumption contain plastic nanoparticles. An average family will use 60 plastic bags on 4 visits to the supermarket, and only 1 to 3% are recycled worldwide. Play your part in advancing your welfare and that of the earth. Support the ban on plastic. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and get eco-friendly bags for you and your 1877. Parenting styles vary, with differences in values, discipline, rewards, punishment, and communication. But here are some tips that all parents and guardians can practice to make life a little easier for everyone involved. First, be good role models. Children live what they learn. So as parents, be aware that you're constantly being observed by those under your guardianship. Also, make time for your children. In many cases, when children are denied the attention that they need from their parents, they respond in a negative way. Communicate with your children. In many cases, parents who reason or communicate with their offspring are better able to help them understand things from an objective point. Growing your children in the right way is just one important step to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, and, well, raise families.
I love waking up every day in this country. This is where I was born and raised. I have such a passion for my country, and for me, this is home. In Jamaica, a lot of people, they look at just like beach, you know, sea, sand, but our mountains are something to behold. It's majestic up there, and it's a different type of peace. It's a different type of lifestyle completely. I could mention many different places that are amazing, but the one thing I do love about Jamaica as well is that you can find that relaxation, you can find that chill in your backyard. Apart from it being an incredibly beautiful country, an incredibly beautiful island, we have a wonderful, wonderful culture, wonderful, vibrant, colorful people. There is definitely a realness to Jamaica. There's definitely something that no matter what keeps you in touch with reality here. Why come to Jamaica? It all comes back down to Jamaica as a whole. You know, the food, the music, the culture, the people, the climate. Come out and meet us, come out and experience what Jamaica has to offer.
And this is where we leave you for today. But do join us again tomorrow for what promises to be another informative edition. If you missed anything, you can watch it all again on our website or our YouTube page. And don't forget to keep up with us via our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.